Episode 16, we're here. Talking Seaweed Podcast. We got a special guest this week. We got Bobby Nuggz.
What up, what up, what up?
Yeah, give us a little bit of intro about yourself. You know, what do you do? Where do people find you?
In case somebody doesn't know who you are. Tell them who you are.
So I hail from the New England area, originally from Rhode Island. It's where I was born and raised. I got involved in the cannabis movement back in like 2008, 2009. I saw a vital need for cannabis activists in the New England area.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't really a thing yet for people to dedicate their entire lives to the cannabis industry, you know? I'm an activist. Really, I got my start with journalism. I started writing for a magazine from Southern California called Cannabis Times back in 2010. They published my first piece ever. Since then, I've gone on to be published in 8 publications across the United States, almost 200 times. Thank you.
That's impressive. That really is impressive. I didn't.
That's
know,
how I knew. Who
well, see, I didn't know. I'm not playing stupid. I really don't know these things, so this is gonna come off natural, which is good. But yeah, I mean, I had heard. He said, check out this dude's page. I know him. I knew his mom, or I knew him, or something. I had heard of him, or whatever.
You want to tell that story?
And it
we'll
was
tell
just
that
funny,
story.
like. That he was like, oh yeah, he's got a decent following on Instagram, and he's around here, and I think we should link up with this dude. And that's when I started checking your shit out, and then I saw you at the Sensi party, and we met there. But since then I did a little bit of research, and I was talking to my buddy Judge, and he said that he had worked with you at the Institute, Northeastern Institute of Cannabis, right? And you had
That's
worked
one
on
of the
some
people
things
that
over there,
published
too.
me. I actually contributed when they were active to school. I contributed and wrote portion of their advanced course curriculum for their students. That was a huge opportunity.
Dope. So how did you first get published? How did that magazine in Southern California find your work? Or what were you putting out that made them recognize that you were even qualified? Or did you submit a piece?
I ended up just wanting to figure out what I want to do in cannabis. I had no identity yet. I was going by my real name. And this
Your real name's not Bobby Nuggz?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Jedi Kush was here last week.
We had somebody named Jedi Kush here last week, so Bobby Nuggz is like super believable.
There was they had this editor. Cannabis Times had this editor. His name was Andrew Wonka. Wonka's reviews he would do for the magazine. I was fascinated by this dude.
Like strain reviews type of
thing? Yeah,
thing?
exactly. Product reviews, edible reviews, everything like that. Andrew's family had some family issues. He went back home to help his family. Mm-hmm. So he contacted me. He's like, hey, you want to fill my position at the mag?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool, bro. That sounds interesting. I've never really tackled that before. I tried doing one piece for them.
Yeah.
Got denied. They said I was being too poetic because that's where I originally stemmed from. Writing was poetry.
Okay.
Do you have a writing background? Like,
no,
is this like a natural,
I have no
is
GED.
It just like a natural thing?
I have no schooling. It's
Were you
all
naturally
all
good at
comes
it,
from
like
heart.
in school?
Yeah,
English
you know,
teachers like, you're a good writer.
Exactly. I got
feel
to
like
do
that's,
reports.
I feel like that's where a lot of good writing comes from. I feel like you
always
don't really
had that
necessarily
passion.
need to be an English major, which some people that we know that are amazing at writing are.
I'm always learning. I'm a student of life in general.
That's what you have to be.
Especially with journalism. I'm always learning, always trying to push myself. I've worked really hard to become established with that.
Tell me more.
Especially in our field, because like to tell people I'm a cannabis reporter, I'm a cannabis journalist. Like I review weed. 9 years ago, people just laughed at me.
Well, yeah, because people didn't even see it, man.
You're crazy, bro.
Jelly, you know?
And it's funny because a lot of people still don't see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I keep trying to explain to
Bobby doesn't
the
smoke
whole
blunts, so I'm giving that to Bobby.
I don't smoke blunts,
Bobby.
no.
We give that to
this
Bobby number 2.
Smokes blunts.
I'm a joint smoker.
No, that's fine. I wanted to justify why I was skipping over you.
It's funny you called me Bobby number 2 because I actually am
Bobby the second,
number
right?
2. I'm the second.
Remember when I thought you were the third?
I think I'm a second.
You insulted my son.
I thought he was the third, and I insulted his son by accident.
It was something along the lines of like, "Fuck you, Bobby the third," and I was like, "Don't talk to my son like that."
I was like, "Oh, I thought that was yours."
No, not my future son.
His real son.
My actual human son.
I was under the impression he was the third and the son was the fourth. You know what I'm saying?
I got no kids right now.
Me neither.
Nothing holding me down in life.
I have enough for all three of us.
Cannabis is my entire life. This is what.
Enough kids for all 3 of us.
How many kids you got, Bob?
I got 3, but we don't talk about them here.
Yeah. Congratulations for being a good dad and still being a successful stoner parent. You know, I like seeing that.
You know what, dude? Thank you very much. I appreciate
big on that, yeah.
because a lot of people don't realize like the fear that some parents really live in, dude. Like that's so fucked up, man. That a parent would be like, they're okay to get wasted because nothing's ever happened when somebody's gotten wasted. Every child's been so safe around drunk adults the entire time. But I mean,
it's funny how natural that is, though. Like kids just at your 4th
Dude,
of July
people are-
party.
yeah,
parents-
I had my
Wasted
first sip of
around
beer when
kids.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah, same. My parents.
I was
had a
very
party and I
exposed
was,
to everything when I was incredibly young. I was one
think
of
it
those
was wine,
teens that
though.
I was not jaded.
Yeah.
I had a cool family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never got to know my dad, but a few times I did meet him. It was like that.
Yeah.
Here, have a sip of this. Try that.
Right.
3, 4
I mean,
years
mine
old.
was accidentally. I was just drinking stuff around the house.
He
'cause
gave
I
it
was
to
a
me,
kid,
handed it
but
to me.
Yeah, that's wild. 3 years old, man. That's something else.
Yeah.
But I remember I remember waking up with like the spins, and my mom be like, "Oh, I know what happened." You know what I mean?
I actually haven't drank since 2009.
Good for you.
that's awesome.
Good for you.
man.
I had an
actually drank a
epiphany
lot
trip on
this
LSD
weekend, but
and it
not
changed
even
my
a lot.
life. I don't know.
What'd you say about
I had an
that?
epiphany trip on LSD.
Oh, dude, that happens. to a
Right
lot of people,
after
man.
I took that LSD is when I got published in Cannabis Times.
And you
I
stopped drinking.
stopped drinking. I stopped all hard drug use.
Was it something specific, or was it just like a realization in general? Was it vague, or was it like I need to stop drinking, I need to get my act together?
It was everything. Everything.
Because I've tripped pretty hard on LSD, and like I've had some
It was
moments
my first
where
real trip that
I don't think I have the mind
where
for it.
where I think I've figured it out, but like when I come to, I don't have that like you seem to have came back and been like, all right, I remember what I need to do.
The
When
whole
come
time
back,
I
I'm
was
like, I
kinda
had
like-
it, but what was
Exactly.
that? What was that key that I had? You
That
know?
was me before the LSD that I took. I did karate. I had skateboarded. I wanted to break dance. There were all these things that fascinated me, but I'd start and stop.
Yeah.
While
That
you were on
frustrated
When I
me.
would trip, I would feel
No,
that way. That
never while I was on LSD. Before I took
I thought he
LSD,
was like, oh,
skated
I was
on
never able
mushrooms
to
a couple
follow through and
times.
execute
Skating on
things in my
mushrooms.
life. I could never follow through and execute things. That was always something that I lacked on. I had mad potential, but that
And you
LSD
found
trip,
out it was yourself holding
yeah,
yourself
man,
back,
it
right?
really did.
Oh, dude, that's
No,
such a
because that
great
really is such-
realization.
that's
And
not-
it,
and
I've
that's
had that
something-
it
realization
unlocked
Well,
the
trip on acid,
the,
you'll
like,
like have that tenfold.
the
because you're
journalist
just
inside me.
focusing
It
on-
really did. It brought out so much
have
creativity
to tell
within
me,
me.
yeah.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I've heard of all like the amazing things that people say about it, but I feel like my brain is just like
It's something that I always
not
mention
for
when
me.
people ask me, "What do you do? Where are you
There's a lot
from?
of
How'd you
dark
start
stuff
this?"
in there.
Yeah.
LSD
Credit psychedelics.
brought
yeah.
me back to life and
Yeah. So
hallucinogens. too.
LSD over mushrooms.
Yeah, LSD for me over mushrooms, but
I agree.
I'm a
Same
huge, just personally with my experiences.
Yeah.
Obviously LSD was made in a laboratory.
I'm a weed
Fungus comes from the earth, you know what I mean? So that way, mushroom weighs over LSD in that aspect. But
I actually this is kind of crazy. I have some acid sitting over there.
love it.
that I haven't done acid in years, but this homeless man outside the Boston Garden asked me for a lighter. I had 10 minutes to kill. I knew what a lighter entailed. He didn't just want a lighter. He wanted to talk. He wanted to, So I was like, whatever. Here's a lighter. I didn't, I'll give you a couple minutes of my time. I shoot the shit with him. He just got out of jail. He's in his 70s. He's rough. Blah. Like he's like, I applied at 50 jobs or 40 something jobs, and no one called me back. This and that. And then I just shot the shit with him for a few minutes, and I was like, man, I don't have any money on me, but like, take care. Keep the lighter, whatever. And he's like, hold on. And he goes into his bag, into pants in his bag, pulls out a bunch, what was a napkin folded up, a bunch of times like this, and pulls out like a fucking book of acid, and it's got strips and strips, and goes, yeah, take this, it's good, blah blah, make sure you don't have anything to do for a couple of days. And he wanted me to I told him I was going for a birthday with 15 of us in a suite, and he was, give it to the guys. I was like, I don't think they're gonna look at me crazy if I go in there and tell them you just gave me this. And I still have it because I'm scared to take it, but I know one of my crazy ass friends is gonna be
you never know with people and the sources, but like
absolutely. And I can tell
where I come from, random ass occurrences like that,
Yeah.
dude. Sometimes it's like, oh shit, I can't believe that just happened. And maybe what he gave you, dude, you have that golden ticket. Like the LSD that I took was world famous. They were called US Blues, man.
I love the way
You never know, dude. Like
I love the way
LSD is not something you just give people in it, and if you had something poison, you don't consciously
give that, yeah.
Man, most people don't. You know
No,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I agree
He
with
sounds like an old deadhead that got caught up in the scene.
Yeah.
Man. You don't know. So
yeah, well,
be there if you do try it. Be there with your homie, and both of you guys try a little
that's what I was
entry
gonna
level.
say, tiny bit, yeah.
And then that way, don't end up a
The
glass
first
of
time I ever
orange
did that
juice.
shit, I took a tab. I was probably 19. I took a tab, and then nothing happened. 40 minutes, I took another one. Nothing happened. A couple minutes later, I took a third one, and then all of a sudden, they all at once.
We call
and I
that
was
too much, too fast.
That's
Oh,
my
way too
nightmare.
much. Yeah, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
didn't know then, and I found out the hard way. But
Well, all these years till I was 21, I was like, I'm never gonna take LSD. This shit's scary. I'm never gonna do that. But I had done all these stupid poisonous drugs, and I'm glad I did it because it really became a catalyst to the greatest days of my life. I turned 30 in 60 days, man. Yeah. The last 9.5, 10 years have been awesome.
That's fucking dope. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Getting published, getting all this stuff. Look what Acid does great things. So, remember, you know Bill Hicks?
Yeah, of
So
course.
you know the Bill Hicks, the Acid. Why don't we tell good acids, good drug stories, you know?
I also followed Terrence McKenna, a lot of the psychedelic theorists.
Yeah. Well, Bill Hicks is like, he had a bit about, you know, how come always these stories in the news about drugs are always negative? How come, if they were true, there would be a young man trips on LSD and discovers that, you know, blah 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 blah, and just goes on this tangent,
himself
like,
back, and he can be published.
Goes, you know, just crazy like tangent, and it just, you know, Bill Hicks-esque, and he was like, he's just right.
He's
you know
actually
what I mean?
Alex Jones now.
Yeah, that's the conspiracy.
I do look at myself as my own success story too, as well as with cannabis. It created a career for me.
Right.
I'm always going to be grateful for
yeah,
that.
I mean, is that what you're doing full time? Is writing or playing different roles, consulting,
I also,
or do you do any of that? What else do you do?
I public speak. I do public speaking and educating. I also manage events. That's something that I'm really well known for.
Which you have something coming up this summer. I've seen you post online a little bit about, which I have questions about because I like. It's an overnight thing, right?
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days. See, I'm a fan of that type of stuff.
Since like I guess 2013, I had a really good friend of mine, and Manny passed away, the King of Pot from Boston. We did 2 fundraisers for him,
friends as well.
And we raised $15,000 and got a bench put in the Boston Common for him. That was my entry to like managing events, was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I got to host the Secret Cup East Coast, and we had like 1,500 people show up. It was way ahead of its time.
Good turnout.
It was awesome,
especially back then.
But since then, I've probably done like 60 or 70 events. I've managed most of the cannabis cups that have been brought to this region. And that is how I ended up getting the opportunity with the Kind Mind Camp Out, which has happened August 3rd to 5th this summer in Maine.
And to me and anyone else who doesn't really know, what is that? What's to be expected there? What do you have going on?
It's a 21-plus cannabis-themed music and arts festival. 3 days of camping. Again, you have to be 21 to enter, so we're going to have a lot of adult-themed games, prizes. The music lineup is going to be incredible. We're about to drop the final lineup now. But we have Iodo on there, Alex Gray and Allison Gray. Selected Nicotine coming out from Colorado from Essential Extracts. AJ from the creator of Sour Diesel is actually going to be flown out. We're going to be talking about some genetic history. We're going to be doing panels each day. Educational aspects are going to be highlighted. Workshops for people to learn. Yoga workshops. And then Kind Mind Camp Out. Yeah. I don't do yoga, but I think I'm going to try to learn.
Is this all an outdoor thing? Or?
Yeah, it's all an outdoor thing. And you camp. We're, the Kind Mind Camp Out, aside from the music festival, we're doing the Camp Out Cup. It's the Kind Mind Camp Out, the Camp Out Cup.
Cool.
The Camp Out Cup, we're going to have entries from across the region and 121-plus judges that are going to be from all over that have industry experience, knowledge.
Are the judges already filled out?
We're close to half full. I'd say about at this point.
We're extremely judgmental.
That's all. That's what we want. We're gonna have a flower category, a solvent and a solventless category, and then an edible.
Where is this?
We'll do the blunts category.
Maine.
What's the blunts category?
Now.
How far from
best blunt rolled?
How far is it? Like, well, I'm sorry, where in Maine is it?
So it's in Norridgewock, Maine, at Last Breath's Farm.
How far is that from Boston?
I'd say it's probably 3 hours from here and 4 hours from Rhode Island.
Not bad.
It's
in 5 hours.
It's worth it. The venue's gorgeous. You know what I mean? Middle of the woods. 70-acre farm.
What are you doing for press? Do you have press coming?
Because we do have
not only are we judgmental, but we also do press. I know you're familiar with.
To do a podcast up there.
Podcast. I can do some photos.
We can award ceremony or something like that.
What else we're trying to do is do more of kind of coverage of events in more of a journalistic fashion with an on-camera personality running around for 3 days at your event, you know, kind of saying, we're going to go check this out.
People doing
We're going to go this. We're going to go do that. Exactly. And we don't have to necessarily do it live, but we edit something together after and we put together a nice, not so much a recap, but more of a... That would be a good
opportunity before the Boston Freedom Rally to do that, I think.
Yeah, I think we could work something out like that. I think we're going to end up
having 2,000 or 3,000 people show up easily.
That would be really cool.
Underestimate for the first one. This is our first year. I'm really proud and honored to work with such a professional team, Proper Productions. They're a real production company. So everybody be prepared for next level experience at the Kind Mind Camp Out. If you're interested in tickets, just follow my social media, Facebook, Bobby Nuggz, Nuggz. You grab your tickets up Or if you want to become a judge, message me directly, and I'll send you the vetting application process, and we can see if you're qualified.
You have to fight me and John, and if we win, you lose. You don't get to
Rock'em,
be-
sock'em,
Yeah.
poppers. You guys remember those things?
I do.
Yep.
Those are awesome.
I was thinking about that the
I
other
was
day.
thinking about getting them for my barbecue this year. I do
You
an
should.
annual barbecue. If you guys
You
want
would
to come.
that sounds
As well,
fun.
you're welcome.
Yeah, the big ones.
That sounds like a good time. We should make that happen, and we should definitely bring the cameras, and we should
100%.
bring some people.
Let's
Yeah,
talk, let's
we're
talk
gonna
more
we're gonna
about that.
definitely go up
Make it
there.
happen.
I'll bring a
Um,
tent. I have a tent.
What do we have
go
for
camping.
segments this week, Bobby?
For
What are we
segments this
talking
week?
about?
We have a bunch of segments this week. It's time for our favorite segment. So what did you bring us?
This is a good segment.
This is a good segment. We'll
So-
follow this one up with 8-second dab ?
I brought you guys some Stardog shatter. That's what I'm dabbing on for my personal head stash.
Oh man.
And this would
We
bring us to
appreciate
the
it.
8-second dab. I've been doing this new technique called reverse dabs. Some people call it cold starts. For the last 8 years of
This guy's
dabbing.
answering 2 questions at once.
Exactly. For the last 8 years of dabbing, I think that we have been doing this the wrong way kind of now. You know what I'm saying? But let's pass this Stardog around so you guys can get a little
Yeah, you were
whiff
just
of
telling
Reno
us a
of
little
it.
bit about this process.
Just some-
Elaborate while I look at
This
this.
is just some shatter. You know what I mean? I like shatter. Everybody's all about the
process
diamonds and
of
sauce.
This,
yeah,
yeah.
100%. So usually I'll take like a nice shatter because it's good consistency to just throw in the nail. I'll put it in cold, put the cap on, and heat it up for like 7 seconds.
Mhm.
We used to heat the nail for like 15 seconds, wait 50 seconds, and then put the dab in and cap it.
Right.
So we just simplify the process. Like whoa,
Yeah, you save time.
yeah, you save
So you
time, you save on the quality and the preservation of the nail, even on your meds in general. When you Q-tip it, you're not Q-tipping as much meds away like as you normally would.
Right.
I
Interesting.
think that
So
both
who
you guys should
who
try
came
this.
up with this process?
honestly, like I don't think there's anybody that officially like
I did it.
Where did you find it?
I got the
It was number
The
2.
technique?
Me.
yeah.
Where did you find the technique?
I got a new nail from my boy Larry OG. Shout out the honey hole Halen banger from Joel Halen.
Okay.
With this bubble cap. And when I got this, I was doing it the way I'd originally dabbed. I was heating it up for about 15-20 seconds and waiting 50 to 60 seconds to dab, and I was getting annoyed with it.
Right.
And someone had told me that or I think I seen it on Instagram rather, someone put in an insert. And they put the dab in the insert, and then they heat it up and put their cap on. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try that without the insert. So I put the dab in, I heated it up, put the cap on. I was like, dude, what have I been doing with my life for the past 8 years? I seriously have probably
Another
dabbed
epiphany.
a full 3 months of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
dabs.
Right?
Yeah, and
It's like,
we're
fuck
on
waiting
to
at a
something
red
new
light. I've
here.
been waiting
A
for
lot
That was
of
part of my
a lot of
thing.
people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
Right.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
nobody
like I'm
knows.
kind of like what the fuck are you talking about? To be honest
I'd
with
say
you.
it's a 1%er thing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 1% of the diving community is like,
If I do
Reverse
dabs,
dab.
I only do it
people
like
like
that.
to take
Not a
things
big
from
deal.
us. So after we post this, I'm sure a lot of people will be doing
let's make it a trend, bro.
it. Well, it's-
Funny story. That's actually what we do.
Yeah, we actually-
make tastes.
yeah,
I saw that. Tastemakers, is that what it's called?
it is
Yeah.
East Coast
East Coast
tastemakers,
tastemakers.
and I
Dig it,
think
dig
we're
it,
already
dig it.
making taste because
Talking
people are
seaweed.
already trying to steal our players and bite what we do.
Yeah,
man.
some people like to steal people.
Do you know
So
how
beware.
It's a very
You know how
when you really-
stealable.
when you really have things to
We
bring to the
reverse-
table, it's hard to find people to eat with, man. That's just one of those things. People are biters, dude.
It's
Yeah,
true.
they saw our biscuits and were like, I think I like biscuits.
So I'm putting the dab in the nail cold.
Is that a big dab or a little dab?
That's a medium dab. You can just take as much as you
All
want.
right,
you know
fair
what I mean?
enough.
Cap is on, bubble cap, torch, price. It's pretty full. 6 seconds, 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're just ready to go.
Is it?
I brought that water. Sweating.
A little bigger dab than I thought. But, you know, you guys got the picture. You want one too?
No, thank you.
Alright, Bob.
I appreciate
Later
it.
on,
Though.
though.
Maybe later. We'll
Later
see.
on. appetite's going down.
We'll see.
So,
Did you lose me at the torch?
What?
Okay, so I'm a child of the 80s.
Yeah.
You lose me at the torch. The minute the torch comes out,
the methodology behind this is still like so young.
Coughing and quiet.
So there's gonna be like I've seen the new I've seen the people are just taking the little pens and just.
Well, I think that
like
someone's gonna come up with a torch that's like so powerful that you'll be able to heat your nail in like 2 seconds flat, and the flame will be invisible or some shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
There's
why is it
something.
called a nail if it is a piece of like glass bowl?
Well,
it's a glass bowl.
Originally,
why are we calling it a nail?
our nail was titanium, and it looked like a screw, man, like a screw from a wall screw.
Okay, fair enough.
Probably like
the
that
name
thing
has
Davin
just
gave us.
stuck. Nail, it's your dab nail. The name's just stuck, and this is still the carb cap to me.
Oh man,
You know,
I'm sweating.
That's the bubble cap. This design too is relatively new. The bubble cap. The first time that I really seen it was from Puke and Beagle.
Okay.
And it's a directional flow cap. See how it's chasing the oil in that nail? You're chasing the vapor around in there. So before you couldn't really
Catch
do
our
that.
vapors, you bitches.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, we just revolutionized the game with that one.
Oh man.
So that just happened live at Talking Seaweed.
Reverse
The
dabs.
game was just revolutionized.
Reverse
Oh my
dabs.
God.
We're popping
Talking
cherries.
Seaweed and Bobby Nuggz are revolutionizing the game.
We out here.
Get your
already.
taste buds ready. We're gonna shove shit.
Kind
down
my
your
camp
face.
out. We're gonna pop mad reverse dab cherries. I
Maybe
got the
where I'll
golf
take my
cart.
first dab. Maybe we'll do it like
Get that video camera.
we'll lead up to it and make it so I'm really nervous about it.
You've never dabbed ever?
Okay, so this is what it is.
Dude.
I had like one of those little pens.
I was just like running it.
Man.
But I feel like that's not taking like a
I'll give you
real
the
dab.
tiniest little speck of oil just so you can taste it later
Okay.
and experience what we just did. You know what I mean?
All right, we'll see.
We'll get you a taster.
Well, yeah.
We'll get it in entry level.
It's like a fine wine too.
A lot of
See, I
people
feel like
too.
Everybody keeps saying to me, "Oh, it's like smoking a joint all at once." And
Well,
I'm like, "Well,
we
I
used
mean,
to
I don't know if
go-
I want to smoke a joint all at once.
The way we used to
Sometimes I
dab,
like
man,
to
it was
smoke
all
half
about
of a
getting
joint
high.
and see where I'm at.
I've been dabbing since we called this shit earwax. Like, we used to take hot dabs, and then they was red with the nastiest oil, dude. You know what I mean? And the sciences are really coming back. So now it's all about flavor, low temperature dabs, timing your dabs. What we just did is low temperature as possible. And him and I just got blasted, each of us, off of one hit.
Hey, you're saying that the terps really come through more.
Oh man, 100%. This stuff's pretty tasty, but if you had like some sugar wax is my favorite. If I had some sugar wax, drool worthy, makes me drool. But it's all about the terpenes now. That's mainly why I even dab is for flavor.
It's for the
Obviously,
flavor,
stone
yeah.
is all there. With anything that has flavor, more than likely sometimes will be a whole package. It's not like a 1 out of 10 thing anymore. Nowadays, like if it tastes good, it's probably gonna get you really high too. There aren't many strains. I've tried a couple that like taste amazing. Don't get me high. You know what I mean? And I was talking the other day too about how the gene pool is just getting kind of like watered down and is really you don't really find like a pure indica anymore. Like rather even pure sativas. We just flowered out a 19-week haze.
Yeah.
Some Washington Heights.
But that's what you're seeing though. Is you're seeing a
Yeah.
lot of people are breeding out like those longer flowering sativas because
But I'm also
everybody's-
noticing
they
now
want it
more than
fucking-
ever, there's this
Give it to me
connoisseur
now. Give it
grade.
to me now. You know what I mean?
You guys
It's
are
not.
my age, so I'm sure you've seen some real good haze.
Oh yeah, man. I remember
Especially being
when
around
I was
Master
like,
RI.
late '90s, early 2000s, in like New York City, you could always get that like good haze,
That poudet.
strawberry haze.
That pussy haze.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, the poudet. The pussy haze is super
I used
famous.
to go buy fake bags and haze simultaneously.
Around Rhode Island, like some of the more prominent ones would be the cat piss.
Yeah.
The cat piss haze is like legendary in Rhode Island. You couldn't smoke the cat piss without your whole block being stunk up. You couldn't smoke it near your house. That's the definition of loud.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
how
I
I
mean?
remember it. I feel like it's getting. I feel like everything's getting very watered down.
It is.
What are your thoughts on like the way people are breeding now, and they're not even.
Everybody
they're
wants
not
to.
even
Everybody
really, like,
wants to be a
fully
breeder.
breeding. They're not even fully breeding. these
everybody
plants.
wants
They're
to be a
crossing two
breeder.
plants, calling it something, and saying
Yeah.
I made this up.
A long time ago, I interviewed some breeders who I take very seriously, DNA genetics, and just for their selection processes for some of their strains, they take 5 years before they'll even release.
They made the first strain that Judge reviewed on our blog. They grew that. Then what was it? It was the first one he did, Miss USA.
Yep. Them and Crockett.
Well, they both did that.
Yeah, them and Crockett are they coincide. I don't think that they're sister companies at all, but I know that they worked closely together for a long time. Crockett also was, I think the Tangy was a re-release. I forget my factual information, but I believe Tangy is a renamed Tangerine Dream. They released that like back in 2012, and it took the whole country by storm. The Tangy terms, you know what I mean? And now they also got the banana unlock. These guys are changing the whole entire.
So that was the first.
Genesis.
That was the first.
That's
one
the
he
Banana
reviewed.
Kush.
And that was the Miss US. The ones he reviewed was the Miss USA, whatever that was. But it was from the same people he's talking about.
DNA.
Because there's DNA.
DNA
No.
Crockett.
They have cheese too, right?
Actually, I'm not sure if they have a cheese, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I think they do because I'm pretty sure
super.
that's what I had.
Well, they're also like Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Tough. Even Spain, I believe. So I wouldn't doubt if they had some cheese crosses, because cheese is definitely like a Netherlands.
Yeah,
Holland,
I'm pretty sure that's where it came from.
Big Buddha. I love cheese. Big Buddha.
I can't remember. Off the top
has
of my
released some amazing cheeses. That's personally who I've tried most of the cheeses from. But the blue cheese too, I thought that was
blue
incredible.
cheese is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the DJ Shorts blueberry, you don't really see like a good blueberry representation anymore either. Everything's watered down and crossed and crossed and crossed. You don't really see like a pure blueberry anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a super pineapple haze. It's like at least 12 weeks flour, and it was fucking like.
Yeah, that's
you could like live
12 weeks
inside
is
of it,
doable, but
and it absolutely.
I give
smelled
props
like
to my friends who
pineapples.
grow and can grow like 17, 18 week phenos, 20 week.
Fucking
like,
maniacs, dude.
Well, it's all for the love. They're smoking all that shit.
Well, yeah, no, I get it.
And then like,
I get it.
You want to offer a pound. Right now. You want to offer a pound of something like that to the community. They want to pay what they would pay for something that you took down at week 7.
Right.
When in reality, you grew that 10 weeks longer. So if you do the math on the electric bill, on the nutrients, on your time and effort and everything, it's like those peas of haze are still worth $4,000 all day long.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, man? Have you noticed the way that I feel like? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the way that there's been like an abundance of it all of a sudden has intentionally driven the prices down to knock out the local basically economy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of it coming to light now, it's being pushed out by people that can operate at a loss and look at it as an investment. Yeah, we'll write this off until,
That's what my worry has always been with cannabis is, too much cannabis, the quality and the top tier level going down, too much being out there. But it also makes small boutique mom and pop growers who are fucking great at what they do
And
that much more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that
absolutely.
note, we have Judge reviewing different local strains that
Hell
are,
yeah.
that are constantly coming, that are small batch grows, that are local grows for the most
best
part.
I've seen, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, you can produce good stuff from large grows, but
we have here some Plushberry, which is the second strain he reviewed.
TGA.
So we can smoke some of this if you guys want to roll a joint. While we roll a blunt or something like that, we can smoke some of this, and the review is up.
We should just have like a press here.
If you want an
like
in-depth
you guys
review,
just want to press some of this up real quick, take a dab.
So if you want to read the full review, it's up right now on talkingseaweed.com.
I definitely want to keep that myself.
I'll be the judge of that.
It's called I'll Be the Judge of That with Judge of Disciple.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to roll a joint or one of you guys or whatever. I'm gonna roll a little blunt over here, but I know
We'll
you guys don't
do
want to
a blunt taste
that
test.
dab got me really high.
I'm really high too. I mean, but
I
this
feel
is just
good. Do you
we
want
got to
dab?
promo the blog. So how am I gonna smoke? How am I gonna promo the blog without smoking a blunt of it?
It's true.
Let me ask you guys a question. How'd you come up with the name
Absolutely
Talking
not.
Seaweed?
Don't ask us questions.
Talking seaweed. See, we've been asked that story.
How did we come up with Talking
You got me
Seaweed?
so high. I'm fumbling my words now too. Yeah. We actually denied the first person who asked us that question because we said this is our show. We don't ask the questions around here.
I mean, I technically just said that again, but you just kept going. So.
No, I respect that, but I had to ask.
No, of course we
were thinking about
really got wicked high.
And we were thinking about like what are the best names we can think of off the top of our head that people are going to be like, you know what, that is something I relate to. And we had like the weed company and things of that nature, and then all of a sudden it was talking seaweed, and we just knew.
It was
a
little bit different than that, but I mean,
I think it was pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure that was 100% the truth.
You nailed it though with that.
But we were thinking, different ways. What's important: design, logo, mascot, representation, all that sort of stuff first, and then, we kind of actually just we picked an animal, I guess, that we thought was fucking, so fucking bad.
Well, it brings me to something I also want to talk about. Cannabis entrepreneurism right now in New England is at like an all-time high. So everybody wants to be involved in the movement, man.
Yeah, they can't wait.
We really are lucky, but I've been getting anxiety. I won't lie. I've been questioning myself a little bit once in a while lately with all this stuff,
I feel like it's
happens
happening,
with
man.
any
I
artist
feel like a
or
lot of
writer
people
or
that have been
creative
here
in
for a
general.
while are worried about what's coming next, because now they know that the whole decriminalization was amazing, and then that gray area that everybody was living in was probably the way they should actually operate it. Is the gray area where you can just be like, yep, this is the kind of business I am. Fucking, if you really need me to pay taxes on this, because I'm not big on taxes. So, just a heads up. So if you really need me to pay these taxes, then
What are the taxes are ridiculous too. I don't know exactly what they are.
Oh man,
Vegas
people are in for it.
25%.
People
I
are in
think they
for
were
it.
That's
a little
bonkers.
lower, but 18 or something. But still,
Ugh.
what is Massachusetts?
I don't even know.
Dude, this country was founded over like 3% on tea.
Yeah.
They were like, "What the fuck, 3%?"
I'm like, that's why I've never,
we're not gonna
I
throw
never
weed in the
moved,
river.
I
It's
never
fucking
moved to
crazy.
California or Colorado or Oregon because I knew like New England and Mass and Rhode Island were gonna be their own mecca. All right, we're gonna be our own mecca. We always have been our own mecca.
That's why we're East Coast tastemakers over
That's
here.
why-
because
that's
we firmly
respect,
believe
dude.
that everybody is just like riding the West Coast's dick and being
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what weed
And, like,
culture
that's what
is.
they do,
And that's
so
not
we're
what
gonna
weed
do
culture
that.
is. That's not what weed
We
culture
don't
is.
act like
that's
that,
what
man.
lax stoner culture is. Like lax hippies do. You know what I mean? Like, on the East Coast, we like we get shit done and we work hard and we smoke
Our
a lot of
hippies
weed.
still like have jobs. and
Even
make
in
money
general,
and shit.
some of the truest pioneers, some of the best breeders, some of the best edible makers, some of the best growers all came from the East Coast.
Oh, absolutely. I have a running theory that the East Coast is going to blow a lot of people out of the water once we really get going and once our laws catch up and we're actually allowed to really try to. I mean, because, again, there's a lot of money to be made. So people are going to be chasing that money, and I feel like that's going to drive people to make some real breakthroughs. And I think this area, I mean, dude, Harvard and MIT are both in Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, Tufts is around the corner. We're gonna do some crazy shit with weed.
Yeah, I've
do
been
some
noticing
wild
too.
shit.
Some of the college students and college graduates are really creating a new niche for activism.
Oh,
and, prohibitionists and freedom fighters in general right now. It's really been driving me a little bit and inspiring me and making me realize, like, don't question yourself. Other people are leading the way. Just do what you do best.
Yep. Always. That's
So
in anything.
Are you currently writing for anybody or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I'm writing for Relief Media. I've actually been writing for them since 2011. They've published most of my works. We were a print magazine for 5 years. I think we did 60 print hard copy issues.
Yep.
And just this past year, we decided to convert to an online media company. So, yep, I'm covering all local events. That's what I've been focusing on. More reporting style writing on news, on events, and challenging myself a little more because I got burnt out, man.
Yeah,
I
right
did.
on. Yeah, you do anything long enough, you will.
I try to stay well-rounded too. You know what I mean? So I'm always back and forth from different areas. So I'm never stagnant. I'm never not doing something. I'm always doing something. But when it comes to my writing, I'm really trying to bring it to a new level right now because that's something that I also noticed between, Sensi or Herb or now this weed, now this news, Viceland and Bong Appetit and Action Bronson taking dabs on national television and like there's this new pinnacle point where like High Times isn't the major player anymore. There are people with such an edge to their companies right now and their brands and marketing that they're taking the world by storm. it's
we
so
appreciate
cool to
that, man.
see.
Thank you for talking about us like that. I mean, it's really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's also
really
that's
cool that
why
you
I
talk about
even
talking
asked you
seaweed like
guys
that.
about your brand, is because it makes me inspired to sit here and be able to discuss and shoot the shit with you guys over this stuff, because we're so blessed to be able to bring our ideas to fruition right now.
Absolutely, man.
And share them with whoever wants to listen.
Hell yeah, man. That's another thing. Like, thank you for allowing me to have a platform tonight to just talk.
Honestly, thank you for coming.
Yeah, man. We love, the one thing that we love about the show is that we really don't have a setup for it. And it's really not like, because everybody's like, all right, well, just send me the questions. And they're always waiting for that, like, well,
but where's
what
the
do you say
getting
about
where's the
this?
getting to
You
know
what I mean?
somebody in that? Where is the getting
Yeah.
to I feel like we're becoming friends because we've been talking. If I came here with a list of questions he was prepared for, it would have been black and white the whole time. You know
and that
what
would
I
have been
mean?
that. And that's why we don't like doing that.
That's
And
the
we-
type of thing you want to do for a panel. Or,
Right,
or
exactly.
something like that. This is like so informal, but like chill, man. Like,
Right,
Yeah, it's a
right.
relaxed
this is
environment.
how you really get to know like some of the best of the best.
Yeah.
in general,
and
inviting
we're,
him on
we're
the
using
show.
it as an excuse to kind of get to hang out with people as
Yeah,
well
man.
as like share the same thing we're dealing with, to everybody else, which is pretty. I think, I originally was like starting podcasting because I was like, I have so many people come by and, we have all these interesting conversations that I know could help people and a lot of advice that could, people could take and whatever and, cut learning time for people and whatever it was, whether it was music that we were talking about or whether it was, touring or getting your business set up or whatever it was that I had these guests on my podcast. And that's kind of why, I was like, why don't I just turn microphones on? Like, we were doing this anyway. And now it just became, why don't we just do it Wednesday? You know what I mean? Or why don't we just do it Thursday instead of like, just whatever. But it's really no different. And I didn't want to change anything. I didn't want to try to be a radio show.
How
I didn't
many
want to.
episodes is this now?
This is 16 with this.
Damn, guys.
16
But-
it might be 17.
No, this is 16. Oh, if it is 17, I said 16 at the beginning. But there's another 8 or 9 podcasts that he did with his buddy. That
we
are
have a sports podcast where we
Cool,
just
man.
So-
because it's funny because you always think like when you think sports, everybody thinks like drinking and like working out. Well, smoking weed and working out in sports all go together, and
Yeah,
a
they
lot
do.
of like high level athletes smoke weed. You know what I mean? From obviously we were talking about this I think last week.
all of the NBA.
All
pretty much,
yeah, like the entire NBA smokes weed. The
Oh,
entire
I just
NFL
feel like-
smokes
what's the
weed.
dude-
The entire NHL
especially
should
the
be
NF
smoking
NFL.
weed.
Well,
Did you
for their
guys,
bodies,
did you guys
man,
see
it's
that
good
the
for 'em.
Mass Recreational Consumer Council's doing the sponsored 5K race?
no, that's dope.
Yeah, they're all stoners and they have
Is that-
cannabis
is that
industry
this coming month?
sponsors. I believe so.
It's a 5K.
Yeah,
well,
I
last
think
week we
it's
were
a
talking
5K.
about how.
So wait, 5K
Michael
is how many
Phelps
miles?
and
I don't even
Usain
know.
Bolt, Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt, the fastest man on land and the fastest man on water, both smoke weed.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't weed companies sponsor a race? What's wrong with that? I just feel like that's awesome that they're getting more into like. You'll see like fitness CBD companies in the future. You're gonna see. all
Yeah,
sorts
that'll
of
be
weed,
like this is good for
Well, this is-
right when you're done working out.
And
Fucking
like Colorado's already got the yoga, bring your own weed stuff. Like like you got something out here that's coming up, which is I haven't heard of out here. Which I'm gonna tell my buddy who works with us on another section of this company about that because his sisters teach yoga. He's a big yoga head.
That's a whole
he will
other
be
market,
there.
dude,
He'll
like-
be there in a second if I tell him that it's a camp out weekend where it's 420 friendly and there's gonna be yoga.
Yeah,
He's
they'll
gonna
be
there in
coming.
a
One
second.
of my
We're gonna try to bring the
homie's
whole
ladies,
squad up.
She has taught yoga workshops all over the country at music festivals with huge crowds. She's gonna be leading our yoga workshops.
Awesome.
I may even.
I'll
Wake
get
up
involved
and-
with you.
wake
We'll
up
be
and join
newbies
you
together.
guys.
Yeah,
We'll be
do you
rookies
got? I
together.
have Lululemons.
I'm gonna
I'm
secretly
supposed to wear
start getting
Lululemons
ready
on.
now.
I could
though.
downward
That's
dog,
what I wear.
maybe. Like I go see a chiropractor. I have a lot of chronic pain issues. That's why I've had my medical card for years.
Oh, computer chair
I'm
all
always
day.
You gotta
so-
work
always
on
writing,
your
dude.
shoulder posture, dude. You gotta,
And
like,
my
pull your
buddy's
shoulders
always
back.
saying, yoga,
Like
yoga,
your,
you gotta stretch, kids gotta stretch. And I'm always like, I know. And then
You're
I
supposed to
never
be
fuck
like
with
you're
it.
tucking your like shoulder blades into your pockets. Like this is what your shoulders are supposed to look like allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
Look at me. I always look like this. Always.
Yeah,
look at
me
this.
too. I'm always pulled forward and like leaning down.
Looking at my phone like a fucking
People bust my
asshole.
balls. I posted a photo today on Facebook from years ago, me getting a massage. It's like something that everybody always gets on me for. Is I'm always getting massages at events,
Yeah.
at
blame
festivals,
you, shit.
at rallies. If there's a massage therapist, I'm going to grab a massage, dude.
You kind of
Sometimes even my homegirls will just come up and like rub my back, dude. I'm like, all right, cool. Since
What's
it's what
wrong
we're
with
doing,
that?
I'm rolling with
Who
it.
doesn't like a
Is
massage?
this the plush
I'm just-
berry?
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
so.
let's light that up.
A little bit of weed, some muscle relaxation saves my life.
What did I do with my lighter?
This is nice.
Anybody? Yeah, it's not mine, but I'll use it.
Would you say grew this?
It's probably in the review. I don't know who grew it.
You have to go to talkingcv.com to find out.
Right. It's what is it? Plushberry, right?
Yep.
Fuego.
It doesn't say.
Digging it. TGA Genetics bred Plushberry. Definitely another one of my favorite breeders.
So when we while we smoke this, I got a little something we can do.
Sweet.
We have a little segment called Weed Can Fix It.
Cool.
So basically, I'll go first, and then John will go, and then you can go. Just kind of think of something that weed can fix, and just kind of talk about it. I think that weed can fix the TSA versus people going on vacation. I feel like as you went to the airport and there was like a smoking section where you came in and they just kind of like, you know how they missed you at concerts and stuff? They just kind of missed you with a little bit of just, woo, everybody get a little bit of indica, woo. You just kind of go right through and everybody just takes a little whack off that. And then we go in and then TSA could do it too because they would relax and they wouldn't try to grab my grandfather's penis. And also we would relax.
I'm just going to have to check inside your asshole.
That's TSA.
Once again, a South Park reference. We're basically a South Park podcast.
Oh, yeah. We're a South Park podcast.
I'm just going to have to check inside your asshole real quick.
I like Family Guy, too.
You don't have your seatbelt on.
I'm from Rhode Island, though.
Yes. I don't blame you. South Park is... See, that's something we could fix. We could fix the South Park Family Guy debate, because I'm high enough where I'm not going to argue with you, but if I wasn't, I'd be like, Family Guy sucks compared to South Park. Didn't you see him rip them apart? No. They did rip them apart, but...
Is that yours?
Yeah, that is.
Nice.
I just jumped right into that. I'm sorry.
Cool. Do you want to interrupt him with yours now?
Weed can fix it, huh?
Weed can fix it. Oh, it's a
I like that.
major problem, minor problem, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that weed can fix it between parents and their children. At a certain age, I think parents should start allowing their kids to smoke cannabis if they would like to, as long as the responsibility in the household. For me, 16.
Okay.
16 is as early as it can go. Obviously, 18 is an adult age now, so that you can do what you want at that point. 16 is really when you start to want to make the decisions on your own. Some families are going through a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I had a crazy household growing up, and cannabis was
life is
it
life.
was a bridge between me and my mother and my stepfather, and it mended the family, and still to this day is one of the reasons that we all talk and that we coincide healthily. And I think that we could fix family members' relationships with each other.
I think
not just
it's funny you say
children and their parents, but mother and sister. My mom and my aunt don't talk no more if they smoked a joint. I think that they would.
Right.
Son and father. I didn't talk to my dad for 25 years and he passed away. If we smoked a joint together, maybe we could have reconciled. So yeah, weed could fix family and relationships.
They always call weed the healer, like it's like a healing drug, right? And we always look towards like the medical aspects of it, of like it could kill cancer or things like that. We never really look at it in the way like it can actually mend relationships. It can. We've talked about this, but when I give a relationship advice, I say get stoned and argue, because eventually that argument stops being an argument. You just get stoned, and then eventually I'm just.
Does that go? I have no idea where that's going.
It's like a weird star type thing.
That's
cool.
Yeah,
smoke weed when you have an argument, man. You know what I mean?
Well, that's something that I've definitely struggled with in my life is relationships, and the fact that I do have such good people skills nowadays is surprising to me all the time, and it's all because of weed.
Yeah. I used to be very like high strung all the time.
I still am.
I started
helps
smoking,
me break out of my
and
shell.
it helps me relax. Like I always know, like just give me a couple minutes, let me go smoke real quick, and then I'll be back, and everything will be fantastic. Just give me like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, when I get really mad, it's pretty much the only thing that makes me kind of rationalize and look in
and
the mirror and be like...
Some people would actually point at that and say it's a bad thing and say, okay, you should be feeling these feelings because they'll motivate you to do other things. But, you know, I don't think as well when I'm angry. I think a lot better when I'm thinking. You know what I mean? So like I'll calm myself, and then I'll make a fairly good plan once I relax. So I get it, man. Weed is the.
You got to look at it as like a vehicle that's going to be able to carry you through to that next point where you need to get through, whether it's with a friend or it's with a family member. It's a great mediator.
Right. Agreed.
That's an amazing segue to the next one,
which is.
And now hold on before we get there. You've done some writing with music as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about just your relationship with music?
Yeah, man. I'm lucky. Cannabis opened the door for me in the music industry. I started writing for the Pure magazine, the reggae focus magazine from Colorado back in like 2013, doing album reviews. I got to go to concerts, write about it, bring my friends who are photographers, and they take photos and we collaborate, and it would get published. I got really involved in the reggae industry. A lot of my friends are some of the most well-known reggae acts in this country right now. Very fortunate for that. They also opened a lot of doors for me, doing a lot of different things. And that's also how I ended up getting involved in throwing music festivals and more music-related events and not just cannabis sessions and whatnot.
You meet people, you become friends, you got that network. I mean, why the fuck not?
Music has a special place in my heart. My main goal with writing in general, I always wanted to write for Rolling Stone. That's still my goal one day.
Cool. Which is
to
really
write about
cool.
music and stuff like that.
Yeah, music's awesome. And it also has a special place in my heart as well as John's. So this segment is called My Favorite Song This Week.
Oh, man, my favorite.
So it's where we do our favorite song this
I'm
week.
going to start this one.
You are going to start this one.
And I'm going to go with that Pusha T Drake diss. I haven't stopped playing it since last night at 9 o'clock.
Holy shit.
God.
Have you heard that?
Finally, I feel like
Very
I'm at
aggressive.
home not liking Drake. I've always felt like I didn't fit in because I never really liked Drake. And I never hated on anybody because I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, thank you for, like, Pusha T for allowing me 6 hours of people agreeing with me for once. You know what I mean? And it's not going to last because, they'll forget. No. But
everybody will forget. He's going to drop his album's coming out this summer.
Fuck,
Why do you think they're beefing in the first place?
Because I mean, if you look at Trace the Money Trail, I mean, who really wins? Universal Music Group. You know what I'm saying? Like, who really wins?
That's true.
But, fuck, man, yeah. Well,
why are they both on Universal?
If you follow the paper trail,
if you follow it back, so good music is Universal.
The crazy part to me, when obviously I've listened to tons of radio and press about this, but is that Drake's got this album coming out on like the 20-something or whatever, and you got to do a press run, and now they're going to be asking him about blackface, and they're going to be asking him about his kid, and they're going to be asking him about all the shit that he doesn't want to talk about, So, like, to me, it's a shitstorm for that guy, and I am enjoying it.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. My turn?
That sounds like such a hater move, but
it does, but it's a good hater move because I'm not really Drake's first album was dope. Since then, it's just like a couple bangers.
So you never could really get behind it. Can't deny the guy's talented, but I can't really get behind
First album
him.
was dope. Second album was I'm not really.
Song of the week, yeah, hit me.
All right, cool.
What is it?
All right, so my song of the week, Chateau.
Oh God, this
Black
guy.
Bear.
I put this guy on a Black Bear.
I was just about to go there. So John put me on a Black Bear and never heard him before.
Black Bear is nasty. I was
fire.
He just ran through my brain.
That's awesome. No, I won't do Chateau. You can do Black Bear. I'll do. I can do something else.
He released a song with MGK that blew me away.
Which one?
The one on Cybersex?
Yeah.
Dude,
that whole album.
What is it? Yeah.
That whole album's crazy.
Yeah, that record is fire.
Easier? Easy.
Easy or something like that. One of those, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that record's fire.
But yeah, Chateau's my shit, dude.
That whole album's insane. But yeah, wow. Okay, so.
Yeah, if you haven't heard
two Black Bear songs, I was not expecting that. Okay.
And then the other one that I've been playing nonstop right now is Danny Avila and the Vamps. It's the song called "Too Good to Be True." I don't know why, but
tell us about it.
It's just a hook, dude. You know what I mean? And definitely that meaning then behind that saying "too good to be true" is something.
Sometimes you just need an old fucking cliche is good enough for $1 million.
Dude,
I don't know how big the record is.
Sometimes those cliche songs, if you get me, but like that one
have to check
for this week.
Maybe we'll put the links in the description if we're feeling crazy.
We should.
We're feeling generous.
We should throw links into all the songs so they can hear them.
We need an intern. If there's any college slaves out there that want to get to work,
we are in the market for college slaves.
Yeah,
I think that translates to unpaid interns.
Yeah.
Unpaid interns.
Whatever they call them these days. What's next?
What's next? Oh, old viral videos. This is our favorite part. This is when we get to talk about viral videos.
Something awesome. Yeah, I wish I had prepped for this one. Do you got anything in mind?
I got one. I saw it on Barstool this weekend. They do it every Memorial Day, and it makes me laugh. It was the four like Jersey dudes, and they're in the car, and the music's playing, and they're like, "Going down there, buddy, going up all day, all night." And then the next dude's like, "Woo!" And they're all like dancing. He's like, "You gotta be dancing, gotta be drinking, gotta be shaking that ass." And
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No, maybe.
Oh my goodness,
maybe we'll
I'll
put
show
the
it.
link in the description.
We should put the link in the description. It's just gonna be in the podcast, just like.
You gotta put it on.
Oh man.
One that got me recently was a little girl trying wasabi.
Oh, that sounds funny.
Yo, dude, I was dying laughing, man.
How'd she like it?
She chomped on it, and then she just
She
goes,
chomped on it? Like not even a little bit?
Wasabi.
Kids are maniacs.
Like she wanted to cry because she's like, "It's so fucking hot. What do I do?" But it sounded like, "I'm sorry." The way she said wasabi. It was awesome,
that's
bro.
funny.
Sometimes little kid videos is
They are. Kids are
I wish I
hilarious.
could go back sometimes and reset.
Yeah, it's funny. We only, like, it's funny because I walked by the TV and America's Funniest Home Videos was on the other day, and I was like, wait, that's still a show? Like, with YouTube? I'm so surprised
There's
that
so
that's
much
still
better with
even a
Bob
thing.
Saget, man.
Like, yeah, maybe. But, I mean, they're all over YouTube. Like, by the time they come out on America's Funniest Home Videos, you're like, yeah, that went viral, like, 3 years ago.
I really like Ridiculousness, dude. They be making me geek the fuck out watching that show.
So,
sometimes.
funny story about America's Funniest Home Video. So I was on my honeymoon, and of course, because I'm a wild guy, we were watching America's Funniest Home Videos. That's what we were doing on our honeymoon because we were just stopping somewhere. We drove, so we were stopping somewhere, just hanging out in Pennsylvania, and we saw they were like, "Be careful where you go, get your breakfast," and they pan over, and it was like, it's called the Outhouse, and they served fresh fudge. And everybody was like, ha 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 ha. So we all laughed. And then the next morning, we were like, we're fucking hungry. Let's pull over and get some. We're in Amish country. Let's get some Amish breakfast, because it's all good stuff. Let's go enjoy some food. And we pulled up, and I was smoking, so I stopped for a minute, and I'm smoking. And my wife goes, "Look behind you." I look behind me, Outhouse, fresh fudge. We just randomly stopped at the place we were watching the night before. I was like, oh, shit.
That's funny. Speaking of old viral videos, you reminded me I don't know how this correlates at all, but you reminded me of The Onion. I'm a huge fan of The Onion. They write some of the funniest shit. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's a satirical news site. But they had the original satirical news site. And they had, every year they'll share. Well, every year I share it. I don't know if they share it anymore. I still do.
Every year I share.
Cinco de Mayo, which just passed not that long ago, they have a mock-up like news segment of a girl named Ashley. They call her Hurricane Ashley.
Hurricane Ashley.
Is ready
Oh my goodness,
like,
amazing.
Hurricane Ashley ready to strike several bars this Cinco de Mayo.
Oh no.
And they have this fucking elaborate, just. It looks like a real news, segment.
It looks like she's gonna say something racist.
They give tips of preparing for the storm. Like, she's expected to link with high pressure systems, BFFs. Jessica and blah blah blah. They're all gathering flavored vodka shots in their apartment. This and that, and then they're showing the tornado on the map going down, striking different bars, and they're starting off with the place on Johnson Street that's got the $5 pizzas, and then they're moving to blah blah blah, and no one is safe. People are already boarding up, and it's then it's all the recent drama with Scott and this and that has made for a perfect storm.
Recent drama with Scott.
So they pop up with tips for the storm, and one is stay away if you're Scott.
Don't mention Scott.
Yeah, she can't even take it right now. All this stuff. It was so.
She totally
funny.
can't even right now.
And then they close with the whirlwind might not die down till 2 a.m. where she's expected to get kicked out of a reggae bar called the Lion's Den for saying something racist. Our thoughts are with everyone in her path. And I was like, yo, that shit is fucking hilarious. And I just shared it a month ago, but you somehow that video reminded me of that. And
it's an old viral video.
Bam.
Speaking of can't even, Rhode Island girls can't even.
Oh man.
Very often.
What makes you say that?
Because they're from Rhode Island and they just started laughing because they know.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
In Rhode Island, the girls can't even.
They definitely be
right,
saying that out
especially right now. Especially right now.
I was saying the other day how Wicked is the signature Rhode Islander mass thing, but if someone comes up to me and they describe their weed as wicked good weed, I'm usually like, dude, these is probably some middies, bro.
It's probably what?
Some middies. If they describe it to me as wicked good, I'm usually wicked skeptical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm going to hand you some really good weed and be like, hey,
really good is
man.
cool, but wicked good.
Really good is cool. Wicked good, not so cool.
Well, that's one thing in our culture I feel like gets played out wicked fucking quick. It's a terminology
Wicked
of
quick?
everything. Exactly.
How quick?
Wicked quick. I told you.
I'm wicked skeptical of how quick now.
Well, like terps, everything gets played on like big time.
So what's the next?
Yeah.
trend
So
then?
why does everybody explain to us all why everybody that now buys weed thinks they know about weed? What happened? Who told them they knew about weed?
YouTube.
It's our fault, Bobby. We're telling them they know about weed.
We're
I
not
guess,
telling
I guess
them-
like also when you try to become an entrepreneur, you do consider yourself an expert. You know what I mean? But to be an expert, you really gotta have those components. It's the expertise.
You
I
gotta
think
know
you know.
what the fuck you're talking about,
Exactly.
fellas. So, follow that up with a couple more years of knowing what the fuck you're talking about, and then we'll maybe,
And then we'll talk.
People are just so opinionated as well.
Yeah,
if you-
can
if
you
someone
tell?
Well, let me tell you what I think about that.
It's intense sometimes though. You know what I mean? Then nowadays there's this new thing called the troll, and opinionated trolls are like serious business out there.
They are. Speaking of opinions, we have a list of questions we ask every single person that comes on our podcast,
Word.
and we're gonna ask them to you
Cool.
right now.
Because
But
you're
John's gonna ask you because
Alright, John.
he's
Stop
younger
coughing,
and
innit?
has. Are you sure? You want me to do it? Because he has
He's
more
younger.
eyes than I
Why
do.
you so old,
Couple
Bob?
more eyes. 2 or 3 more eyes. All right. Couple more eyes.
He's got 7 eyes. He's
All right.
actually a monster.
You're supposed to answer these kind of rapid fire. They're supposed
Okay.
to be quick, you know.
Oh yeah, do we have a timer?
No, we don't. But we've had a
Yes,
couple
we do.
people really
We do have a
slack.
timer. Watch this.
man.
All right, let's see if you can get this
It's a
done
new
in 3
mechanism in the
minutes.
program.
If you get this done in 3 minutes, you win a rally towel.
It's
How's
gonna
that?
be rough.
It's not. The questions are fairly straightforward.
Cool. Sometimes I'm not good off the
There's
Oh,
only there's
you can't
there's
look
only
any of
3
these
of them
up.
that make you sound racist if you say it
Oh,
wrong.
man, great.
3 minutes.
And
Last week it took 27 minutes. Let's
Oh,
try not to do that again.
Once 3 minutes is over, just cut me off. We can
okay,
keep
I don't know
going.
what's more
I mean,
important.
we're
the timer or the
nicer than
questions,
that.
right?
We're
Okay.
good people.
All right, cool.
Let's
So,
go.
I mean,
you ready?
All right.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Bong or bowl?
Bowl.
Papers or blunts?
Papers.
Flowers, edibles, dabs?
Dabs.
Blonde or brunette?
Brunette.
Fruit Loops or Cocoa Puffs?
Cocoa Puffs, bro.
Pop Tarts or toaster strudels?
Toaster strudels all day.
Red or blue Doritos?
Red Doritos.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Beach or mountain?
Beach, bro.
City or woods to live?
Woods.
City or woods to visit?
Woods.
Beer or liquor?
Neither.
Home or bar?
Home.
Indica, sativa?
Indica.
Yes or no?
Hell yeah.
TV or book?
TV.
Snapchat, Instagram?
Instagram.
Sports or arts?
Arts.
Sweatpants, sweatshirt?
Sweatshirt.
Are movies these days too long?
No.
Stay or go?
I'm gone.
Paint or color?
Paint.
Do you like animals?
Yes.
Sharks or lions?
Lions.
You training or walking?
Walking.
Do you like space?
I love space.
Sun or moon?
Moon.
Day or night?
Night.
Ocean or land?
Ocean.
Socks and sandals?
Socks.
No, you approve of that?
Oh,
Socks and
no,
sandals?
no, hell no. That's some weird shit. Those types of people smoke middies.
Shoebies.
Dude, I wear socks and sandals. Fuck you, man.
We'll grant you 15 seconds.
Cool.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Do you believe in science?
Hell yeah.
Do you believe in God?
Yes,
Do you believe in life after love?
I do.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
I do.
Jungle Book or Lion King?
Lion King.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Pasta or salad?
Oh no, pasta for sure.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Breadsticks or rolls?
Rolls.
Chocolate milk or strawberry milk?
Chocolate milk.
Coffee or tea?
Neither.
Do you wear a scarf?
Yes.
iPhone or Android?
Android.
Sneakers or boots?
Sneakers.
Are you a weed snob?
Yes.
Walmart or Amazon?
Right. That's
Walmart.
Such a good question.
I like things. I don't like the weight.
Okay, I agree with that. All right, finish the sentence. I love.
Dabs.
I wish I could have more.
Pussy.
My favorite holiday is.
Christmas.
I think of blank before bed.
Pussy.
I use my cell phone blank times a day.
40 times a day.
If I was a wizard, I would.
If I was a wizard, I would freeze time.
My superhero power would be
Flying.
6 times 8.
Oh man, 36.
Wrong. That is not it.
Talking Seaweed podcast is the best because
Cause you guys are chill as fuck, man.
word up. That's it. How do you do? Oh.
You get like extra 17 seconds.
Oh, okay.
I hate math dudes.
You have 17 seconds to plug your company, man. Go.
Math dudes, damn, I cannot do multiplication.
I get it wrong every time. We ask the same question every week.
And then we look at each other and we go,
I still don't know the answer.
I'm pretty sure, I'm 80% sure it's 48.
Right, I don't.
And we've literally been asking this for
guests, to be fair, so I haven't, we haven't,
we don't ask each other.
I've only known a dozen times. I've only been told a dozen times what 6 times 8 is.
Yeah, I mean, I only learned it when I
You
was
expect
younger,
me
as
to
a
really
child.
remember? Do you
I
expect me
like-
to remember that?
I would have to write it down.
6 times 8. What do you write down 6 times 8? It's only 2. You're not gonna cross. You know what I mean?
I didn't even
I'm
write
just-
equals 48 because I knew I would be like.
I'm better,
see
like
it?
visually, like in front of my face.
Okay,
and
fair
shit.
enough.
Like
Um,
that was awesome. Dude.
All right, well, he
Boggled
just
my
won a towel.
okay. Oh yeah, you want a rally towel, pink or blue?
Pink.
Nice.
Right on.
Everybody keeps picking pink, dude. What's up with
I'm
the?
glad we got
I'm
more
wearing
pink.
pink right now.
That
That's
is
true.
So look at that.
Thank you.
I didn't even wipe myself with it, even though I was sweating from the devs.
Sweet. Thank you.
That
was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, you want to
There's a nug on the floor. I spy a nugget.
There's actually 2 nuggets on the floor. Look
That's when you know you're true weed smokers. If you don't got dabs on your clothes or nugs on your floor, you're not smoking.
at that.
You're
Dude,
not dabbing.
funny quick story about having nugs on your clothes, dude. I always roll weed in cars, like everybody else, and I would go in and fucking.
And what makes my story different is
I was going into school at like college one time, and I was dating this girl at the time, and she had met me at school right before class, and she knew that I always had weed on me because I was always rolling weed and shit. And I literally walked in, and I didn't know. I just smoked. I'm high as hell. I'm like 18, 19 years old. And I got like, little nuggets from rolling a blunt all over my hoodie. And like I walk into the room, and she just looks at me and she goes, "You got weed all over you," and just starts rubbing it up. And I'm like, oh man. And I was about to walk into class looking like a true fucking idiot.
She's looking out for you.
Yeah, she was. She's a good girl. But
Good girls are hard to find.
Yeah.
they very
right?
much are. But when
They
you
really
find
are.
them, you have to actually be good to them.
Yeah.
That's
see,
That's the
I was
problem
young,
with
and
our
I fucked up.
generation is that women are out here treating good guys like shit, and guys are out here treating good girls like shit. And
Guys are also out here treating fucking shit girls good too.
That's exactly
I
true.
was
So
getting
we
it,
all
yeah.
we win some, we lose some. 'Cause
well,
I've been
girls
on both
are out
ends of
here
the
treating
spectrum.
shit guys
I've
good.
treated good girls like shit, and I've treated shit
Well,
girls
the
good.
moral ethic shifted in our generation.
I think
very
if we
much
all
so.
just treat people how we want to be treated, we should be good.
But I
right?
feel like it'll switch back. Like I feel like
I
our
also try to
generation has
bring-
been kind of looking at the situation we were given, and we're like,
Exactly.
I don't really think that's smart. Because if you think about it, who's been making all these decisions to sexualize our generation? Who's been making all these decisions? It wasn't fucking us, man.
Yeah.
We weren't, 8 years old being like, what we should do?
I'm
is
not
try
a
to-
fucking
try to
radio
sex cartoon for
program
us.
director.
You know what
I'm
I mean?
not telling these kids what I'm not. When I realized that it was in bad shape, as I was at.
You said
That's-
acid's awesome earlier, so I mean,
Well, yeah, but I'm not. This is a 21 plus show. I'm not influencing children
this
here.
is true. This is a 21
So,
show.
I was at that same ex-girlfriend of mine when I was like 18, 19. I was at her she had a half-sister, and the girl was turning like 10 or 11, and we were at the birthday party, and they're listening to the radio, and they're all dancing, but it was like a Beyonce song, and it was just so ridiculous, and I was like, this is not good. Is anyone paying attention to this? Because I don't think
Yeah,
any
it's
of the
not good.
dads, were giving paying any mind to,
Well, you
Rihanna,
remember growing up
Beyonce,
how
whatever it is.
popular trends were, dude. Like,
They still are, man. I
simplest-
was actually
the
asked you that,
simplest
but he
shit.
asked you something at the same time. Since everything's trending so much
Mhm.
in, like, what's next? What do you think is going to be the next wave? Do you think it's going to be these 8-second dabs? Do you think it's going to be,
Yeah,
what's the
dude,
next big
I-
trend in cannabis?
the next big trend in cannabis, I think, is gonna go back to education. People really.
So we're
go
ahead of
off-
the curve because we have an educational show on our
100%.
website already, which is
Well,
up right now.
There's still so
You can
much
watch
more
it.
work to be
talkingseaweed.com.
done, man. You know what I
Going
mean?
to
The
the
last
city.
4 years, a lot of fun has been had. A lot of progress.
We're
has
big
been
fun
made.
guys, too, though. So.
Me too.
Yeah, we're
always.
huge on fun. Number one fun podcast, I think, in
think
all of the cannabis
now
industry.
it's-
Number
now it's
fun
time to take
podcast.
things
We're the
to
number.
next
Yeah, we're
step,
the number.
though.
We
fun
also like
con-
puns. We're the
podcast.
number
You
fun
gotta have fun.
podcast as
Number
well.
pun, number fun, and number one.
You can't be smoking nugs without fun. That's not how it works.
You
out.
can't have a podcast without puns.
But I think the next big thing is definitely going to go
I
back
thought
to,
he was gonna hit him
to
back with another
education,
bar.
man. Because there's so much more work to be done right now, more than ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
obviously,
why we're working with people like Judge, who you co-wrote stuff with and worked with at the school. That's why we're working with people like Joe Dalton at the Grassroots Institute. So we've got these educators and these people who know what they're talking about to fill our audience in on specific things that isn't my thing. Because I'm not that guy who's going to school you on weed, but I'll get high and have a good time with you all day, and I'll, cover everything else I do here at Talking Seaweed. But, I mean, when it comes to education, I'm not your guy, but that's why we have a network of
I'm
people
still
that
learning, always.
Always learning.
Being around one another, we can learn things and help each other compensate in different areas in our brains,
It's not all about money.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
It was fun.
Let's take some more reverse dabs.
Yeah.
We
both were like, the show's over.
Bob's like, damn.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Did we do the 8-second countdown? Did he do another one? Show everybody what they're missing.
He already did that.
Do we count it 8 seconds?
No.
He said he could do it in 8 seconds.
Do what?
A
dab.
All right, yeah, let's try it.
So you need 8 seconds from when? From when the
From now.
From now.
I got the dab on the nail.
Wait, hold on. You tell me when I'm starting.
All right. You can start it now. Torches
Ready?
in hand.
3, 2, 1.
8-second
go.
dab.
You dudes are all dabbing wrong. This is the way you should have been doing it. Fucking amateurs.
If you're just watching this as a cutout segment, go back about 40 minutes on our podcast and watch him explain this whole process. He used to take a dab in about a minute or so, and now he's taking a dab in 8 seconds. You guys used to hate waiting.
It was roughly 20 seconds.
Well,
roughly 20 seconds, but I will say this. It's better than
It's still
a minute and a half,
and
2
it's still
minutes.
shorter than like a red light, probably.
It's
So,
gonna take you a cumulative time to finish the dab, but to get the initial process started, 8 seconds.
Okay, that's
enough.
accurate. I was watching the clock, and I can co-sign everything you just said.
It'd be hot, and then you have to wait 50 seconds for it to cool down.
And
then you have an additional 15 seconds of hitting the dab, and then Q-tip time. So it's still a process, but
Q-tip time.
we simplified it just now.
That's how I got all
sounds
those
like
kids.
a new segment on our podcast.
And if you dab more than 10, 15, 20
It
times
is a new
day,
segment on
then
our podcast, definitely.
this new method is gonna be your best friend.
How many times do you dab a day?
I probably dab like 15 times a day. I don't really smoke that much flower anymore.
So
And it motivates me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when's your first dab? You wake up, do you dab before you shower?
I
Do you
dab
dab
at
before
6
you?
a.m. before I shower. I usually give myself.
So you
15
wake
minutes.
up in the morning
Yeah.
and you dab.
I usually give myself 20 minutes to get my lungs going and my stomach, and I'm taking at least one dab, and I'm really high, and I'll get going and clean and get the dog out.
I love it. All right, guys. Thank you. Episode
Thank you.
16 is a wrap. If you're not taking 15 dabs a day, what the fuck are you doing? All right. Peace, yo.
New shirts, stuff like that. Go get it. TalkingSeaweed.com.
It's already up.